Hello and happy Sunday evening. I hope that I'm in the right place and everything's working fine. And sorry, I've been a little bit later today. Had a bit of a funny situation. I was live in another group that wasn't going out live. And then that one's finished. There we go. That looks like I've just come up on there. Hopefully somebody will pop a comment on here so I can see that I'm okay. And then I've just done a dummy run as what I'm going to do for you today. So I've just done it all the way through once. So I've already got a couple of samples to show you. So just waiting for a comment just to come up there just to make sure that we're good. But I do feeling I have got a droopy camera here. So yeah, Gillian, well done. Thank you. You're just reassuring me that I'm in the right place. I've got a very droopy camera here. It just won't stay. We moved it the other day for something else I needed it for. And it's just not staying still. So if the camera comes down within view for you, then apologies. So we're going to get you down onto the table. And I think I'm straight. It's definitely got a little bit of a droop on there. Oh, look, there we go. It's not focusing very well. Let me just bring you back in and see. There we go. Okay, I think I can see that. So let's just put you in the corner and let's get down there and see where we are. So you can see my hands, that's good. Camera's definitely on the droop. I don't know which button. I'm trying to tighten up all the different levels. It's not very good, is it? So let me just loosen this one up and just move you around a little bit. You don't want to see me on here. I was going to say I'll move it, but yeah, I'm going to just tighten that up, see if we can get that up higher. Modern technology. I think it's just the weight of everything on the phone, on the stand. So sorry if I'm sending your eyes a bit doolally. Oh, there we go. That's tightened up. That's all tight now, I think. We'll see how long that lasts. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Don't know where we can go. If not, if it's going to play it up. There we go, you're all there, aren't you? Right, let's say about this and start all over again. So today I'm sharing with you some of the beautiful gallery design series papers. These are 6x6 pieces, as you can see, they're quite small, and they come in a pack of 48 sheets. Now these are in, still moving, isn't it? In the annual catalogue, the new annual catalogue. It's got all of these colours. As you know, I like to write these tiny little ones here so that you can read them. So you can see that on a screenshot. Hi Lynn, hi Angela, hi Gillian. So these are all the colours. I've got all the cardstocks out and I'm going to do some sketches. I tried to do some sketches earlier, and I'm just going to run through these papers first though. So there are 12 different patterns, but you've got fronts and backs, so that's actually making 24. That camera has got a mind of its own, hasn't it? It's not happy. I'm just going to have to keep adjusting you. Sorry. I've tightened everything I possibly can, so I don't know what's going on there. So this is one of the first ones. These are all nice muted tones. Now, one of the themes I was going to be playing with today was going to be thinking of you. Now, that's quite a loose connection there. Thinking of you could be in all sorts of different meanings. Okay. Hi, Pam. I know you wanted to see these papers. So I am using them today. I wrote it in my diary for you. Just got a few technical issues with the camera drooping as well at the moment. So I'm going to whistle stop through these. They've got designs on here. You can cut these in half and you can have that half. You can have part of the image. You can use it on a full-size card as a big panel, trim it down a little bit. And on the back of these, you have some what I call wallpapery type designs. So this is like one of the wallpapery, more wallpapery selections. So I'm just trying to stop this drooping, but I'll keep tweaking it. So we've got a lot of the scenery ones. Now we've had a few scenery sets of papers. So this is kind of like these are more muted colours. So we've got that one, and on the back, this one screams at me of doing watercolouring, colouring them in, even possibly with the blends, but it's certainly a colouring design. I haven't got those out today, but I will try and do one of those at a later date. So this one is a lovely one. This is like a the writing and everything that you would see like on a seed packet or something like that, an old-fashioned type approach to it. But you can still take images off there to use on your cards. And I love this background. You think the fronts and backs there together, beautifully toned. It's kind of like a light mossy meadow. So these are some more of the scenery ones. And then on the back we have these two. This is the front and this is a back of another one. Having some snow on here, some white embossing, and you imagine just tinting that with some white embossing powder, some Versamark, and popping some snow on there. I think they would be really good ones to have. So that was the front, and that was the back of the scenery one. This one is just an old-fashioned type design, and you've got another wallpapery type one on the back. Again, muted scenery, and on the back we've got a nice chevron there. This one, I mean, these go nicely, all of these papers. You know how Stampin' Up! Do their artists. They do blend those so nicely and incorporate all the different colours into one pack. This one I really like. I think I might leave that one out. And this is the backing of it. So let's try and play with that one tonight. This is another scene, so you can literally cut a piece of that off wherever you want to cut from. You could take the slimline piece, could end up being another card, and then this one using a full panel on there like so. We could play with that one. I've got some samples to show with this one, and this is on the back of it as well, sort of like that muted. This is another pretty one. This would cut in half nicely, so you can actually have two separate panels from that. And randomly there's a map sort of like on the back there. I'm not quite sure about that one. Another scenery one to finish off with the 12th one, and then some more mottled muted designs on the back. So beautiful. Shaz. Hi Karen. So I'm going to put those out of the way. We've pulled a couple out there, so I think we'll play with those today. So the other thing that I got out on my dummy run was the catalogue. The papers are featured on page 54 and 55 in the annual catalogue. So these are the said papers. There's an embossing folder that goes with it. There's some gems, and there's these two stamp sets. The Gallery Blooms is the flower that's in here really. These are negatives, so these are cutting out from the card, not cutting the image out, not like these ones. So you've got different things going on there. And I mentioned earlier that I was going to use the Greetings for All, the ephemera pack. Those sentiments on there go with an awful lot of things. They are on board and they are tacky on the back, sticky, so you can stick them off and stick them onto a layer nice and quick, or you can put your foam pads on the back, your dimensionals. So that's those. And then on here we've got some sketches. So I have played with a couple of those on my dummy run through. So we've got those ones. So we've got tags and things in there. I will try just and loosely use some of these shapes. They're a great start to trying to do it when you've got a memory block and you don't really know what to do. Then pick out a sketch. So there's loads of them on Pinterest. You can go back to other catalogues as well. Stampin' Up! Have been doing these in the minis and in the main annual catalogues. But they are very loose shapes, so you can incorporate something else instead. Okay, so I will pop that out of the way over there for a moment. Okay, so let's go with this one first. Now I was using my note cards and envelopes. She says they were here under my nose. That's dimensionals. Where have they gone? They can't have vanished. I've not moved. Oh dear, it's one of those days, isn't it? Got a whole box of them. Dimensionals, gems. They are definitely nowhere to be seen. There we go, under my nose. So my note cards and envelopes, you know I keep in one of these, the thick boxes on here, the old wood style ones. Put that one aside for that card. You can, oh, you're still there. Just keep moving the camera because it's just got a little bit a droop on it. So I'm using the note cards. Now these are standard size at 5 by 3.5. And because they start in inches, this is starting in inches, this is a 6 by 6, this is 5 by 3.5. I tend to stay in inches. So what I've done on here is I've given you a couple of measurements. Oh, they won't do there, will they? Because that's right underneath my photo. Put them in that corner, shall I? Up there. Okay, so what I've done is just worked out the layers for you, just to quote. The first, if you want a card layer in between, I would use this size, the 4 7/8 by 3 3/8, just taken 1/8 of an inch off. And then if you want a second layer, you could have a card colour behind there, and then this one coming in between. Now, there's so many colours featuring in here. We could put the, I haven't got a big enough piece there, I've got them elsewhere. Set that off in there like so, so you've got another layer in between, and then you're just bringing that through to highlight the edges. But then we've also got the different layers, different colors in there. We've also got in there, we have, this is the basic beige, this is another one, so this could be offered up to it. We have got the white in there, but we've also got the basic beige. I'm going to highlight this up to the camera. So if I put those like so, you'll be able to see there are elements where these colours are coming through. But with the white as well, I discount that one, I think. I take that one away and bring this one up. I prefer that one. So I do this, don't I? You've seen me do this before. What else have I got on here? I've got this one. This is the lighter blue. So we could try just seeing whether that would work. I think this makes this one look too muddy, so I won't go for that one. So I think I'm going to stick with this. Okay, so we're going to find another piece of card that's big enough. We've got one there, look. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut to these sizes here. This is just a rough guide. This brings them down to 1/8 of an inch off each side. So I'm going to take that as 4 7/8 on here. Okay, and then this way at 3 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. So that's that one. Can go out of the way. So this one's going to sit on the card. Then it's just a case of what we want to do with the papers. So we've got that little white border, and then this one we could actually bring that a little bit down further. So if I grab a different colour pen and say, right, on here I'm going to take that down to 4 and maybe another 1/8 of an inch off that. So that's 6/8, so it could be 4 and 5/8 times 3 and 1/8. Okay, I'm just coming down in 1/8 inch increments on those. So I'm going to take a little bit more off and give it a little bit more of the navy, the secret secret C. So I'm going to do these ones here, the red ones now. So 3 and 1/8 by 4 and 5/8. So that's half. That's another one. Okay. And then that would sit on there like so. It just gives us a bit of a wider border. Okay, so take those away for now. And I'm just going to check this line up on here because these seem to be a little bit cross-eyed. Do it on a dark surface. It doesn't look quite so straight. Sometimes because they're a computer, they're laser, they're manufactured, sometimes they get a little bit off kilt. Just pop that one on there about now. It's a little bit better. It fits on there nicely. So we've got those done. So now we're going to use this big piece on here and then take out a shape. Whatever shape we want to use on the front of our card. And I am using the stylish shapes here. This is these ones, stylish shape dies. So I've used these ones an awful lot. I'm so pleased that they held over. They just work well. So I think I'm going to use the little one here because that fills a little gap. And then I did a circle on the other one, so I think I'm going to do the squares on this one. And I want two that are going to layer together, so I might do those. So if we want to have on top of the paper, we want to have the biggest one, and then we might have this one in a contrasting colour. So I'm going to gut the middle of this card. So I'm just going to take out those middle bits. And I've got the cut and emboss here. Take those two out. those all out. Straight back onto the magnet so that they don't get lost. That's just as an extra piece, just to save wasting it, but that would look lovely with some white embossing on there another day. Okay, leave that one out. So that's going to be my top layer. This is just going to go straight onto the card. There, and then the paper is going to come over the top. Now we've got the opening here, just a case of whether you like the dark at the top, or whether you think the flowers are better that way up or that way up. Don't think there's any real difference much, but where I'm going to put the sentiment, I think it does look better that way up. Actually, it looks more upright, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to pop that on there like so. A little bit of Tombow around the edges. Secret Sky. Yeah, I keep calling it Secret Spa. That's my downfall right from the very first day. So I keep, yeah. Having said that, I'm going to be going to a spa in a couple of weeks' time. We've got a few of us, there's 5 of us going, and we've got an afternoon package from 1 till 7, but it includes an afternoon tea, and we've got full use of the leisure facility, so that's going to be really nice. Now this time, I think I'm going to, this was the right side of the paper, I think I'm going to turn it over, because then that brings that colour back through, and it coordinates nicely. It coordinates perfectly because that's how they've manufactured them. They've made them to fit perfectly. So the colours are matching there nicely. So I think I might do something with that. But I might do, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to put a dark image on there. I don't want to use that one now. We'll save that for something different. Let's just, I've got strips in here. This is definitely a wing it night. So I'm thinking if I had something like so, but I don't want it that big. So I was doing on another group, I was doing a theme of thinking of you. So if you want to go and look this site up, it's literally a card a day in May 2025. Okay, and I thought, I'd written in my diary, I was down for day 18. I've done one of the early ones as well. And day 18 is today, the 18th of the month, is thinking of you. So I'd done my live in the group, but it hadn't actually posted because I'm not an admin for today. I'm on for the 24th. So I will do a whole different theme. And so I thought I've had a dummy run for today. So we will do something with this. Now, these do look nicely layered together. But I'm looking at the size of my sentiments because that was going to be thinking of you. We had this little discussion in the group about all the different ways that you can have thinking of you and the sentiments we have in our stamp sets. And then things can be things like this one, for being there, thanks for being there. That would work. We've got on this one, we've got just for you. We've got thinking of you was the theme. So thinking of you is a straight one. That is still too big to go in that little banner. So I'm trying to find something that will go. Something on that one. We have got a hello in there. That might fit. Hello on this one. This is my lovely, faithful, Simply Said. And these do work well in these. Just going to see whether that one will fit in. I don't think it will actually. No. You know what? We might end up doing a manual banner, and we might. Oh, this one. We've got the long one. I might fussy cut that and stick that on the top there. So let's stick that on a block so it doesn't get lost. Because hello is still thinking of you, isn't it? It's still got some sticky on there. There we go. They're all sort of like encouraging sayings. So that can come down. I'm going to cut that one out first. Trim a little layer off there. Just want to make sure that that's just going to be wide enough to go through. We've still got a little bit for another banner on something else. cut that one out, and then we'll do a matte layer behind it, just slightly bigger on the cardstock. But that one's good to have that one on. Mentioned it again recently, I've got so many black scraps that I'm going to be having a session just purely embossing, heat embossing in white, and using lots of different sentiments. I've got a container ready to put lots of different sentiments and label them with a Dymo on the end, so I will always have a batch of sentiments. Black is a neutral and it goes on all sorts. The other thing, you could do it on white as well and have black sentiments because they're neutral and they will always go on something. So this one I'm going to stick onto here. I want that to be slightly wider so that I can cut round, and I'm just going to cut that to the sizes just slightly bigger. And that's going to be on that 1/2 inch, I think, a 3/4 of an inch. Okay, take that one away. And then this one, I want it to be that little bit bigger. So I'm just going to cut that straight. And then we can pop that on there and then cut around. I'm just going to check whether that will go. That will actually go in the middle of that. Okay. So I'm going to use the same Secret C ink pad. Just going to test that on there. That's good. Really juicy because it's a new colour out. Looking a bit messy on there, but that's a lovely sentiment. Down. Oh, drat. It's got ink in between it. It's so juicy. I don't like that one. So let's clean that. We'll try again. I can cover that one up. Just trying to use that piece of paper again. Let's turn that round. A little bit lighter. Put that on this end. There we go, that one's good. And then we're going to just try and devise a way to cover that end up. Okay, I'm just thinking out loud now, just trying to cover that up, that image up. So we could have a nice shaped piece. Like something like that. Do one of those in the navy, in the dark colour. I like thinking on my feet. So that shows you that there's always possibilities. That one, a piece of this one, in the size under. These little tiny pieces. I haven't found a home yet for the new in colour scraps. I need to empty out the box that had the 2 years ago, and then I'm going to just switch them over. So we'll cut one of those and we'll cut one of those. And while I'm in here, I'm going to cut another one of these, the little flowers that I used the other day. Try not to run your excess piece of card through the machine, because you can use that and you'll always get these scratchy horrible marks off here. Will get, if this one was scratched as well, they would get onto the cardstock. So just try and trim them to size. Just a little reminder there. There we go, little flower in there. Go in the bin. Go in there. All right, just take these ones out. And I think we're away. That one. and that one. We've gone off piste a little bit with these sketches, but there was one with lots of shapes on it. I'm just interpreting it in a different way. So I'm going to place this one on here first. Tweezers. I'm going to glue that one down. It's a nice way to do banners. If you can see below the glue there, this front piece of the paper is actually quite pretty. Cut out with a banner and then just putting an embellishment on the top like I've done here, what I'm going to do here. So that's that piece. Now I'm just going to trim these ends. We're glassless today. I think I must have left them in the lounge. So that into that corner, and then this one's coming into this corner. So nearly hinged in the middle there. Let's emphasise that a bit more. Snip it out there, that's it. Then into the centre. And just cut those in. You can follow the line that's already there, so it's much easier this way. You've got something, a line to go with. Okay, so that's that one. So this piece that we want to cover up, we're going to use this one. And there, and we're going to stamp that one on the top, and then we can have our little flower in the middle. Okay, so I shape my flowers like this in the palm of my hand, either with my knuckle or the Tombow. If you've got a stamp and pierce mat, that will make it a little bit less painful for you. Depends how hard you press on there. So this is just a shape to go on there. I've got to have to hide that up. So I'm just going to put some adhesive through the middle. And then that's going to cover that one up over there. So in the middle of the gap here. I've got a bit of a shadow today. I have got the lights on upstairs, the brighter lights. Just check that's going to be in the middle. That's fine. So then this one's coming in the centre. I'm not going to put it on pads this time because it's going to be covered up. In the centre. There we go. Cut out a flower, yes, Karen. I've just seen that. I could keep calling it Secret Sky. Yeah, sounds wonderful. There we go. So this is going to sit in the middle there. Okay, we'll mount that on, and I'll cut a little one for the centre. Actually, we want a little flower centre. I did have a little tub through here, and these are the ones that I used last time. So I will put those on in a sec, just in the middle of that flower. So then we look at this and we see, right, okay, where would we like to put our banner? Okay, one of the sketches I will show you in a sec again in the book has got just one simple circle and a banner. Okay, so we've put some layers on it. I like to put my layer through sort of like on the top third there, but because this beautiful flower is there, I really don't want to cover him up. I am thinking maybe in the centre or down lower. I think I'm going to put him there. So I am going to put this one onto foam pads. So we will take these. I'm using up the last little pieces of this pack, so I'm just going to snip those ones out. Well, that is a whole one. We have got whole ones there, look, one there and one there. And then one of these pieces in the middle. Use up all the bits, nothing wastes. Okay, so that's going to come through the middle here. And like I said to you before, on a previous one, if you have your grid paper and you find out where you'd like to put that, you can line this up on your bold lines, top and centre and right and left. So I like to do that. So I'm going to let that be the top line of that banner. So I can see that line coming there and that line coming there. Okay, so that's that one. And then the little flower is going to go in the middle, a little bit of Tombow on there. And that's just going to sit in the centre. And then use your Tombow just to hold it in the middle there. You can take your pick tool. You can use anything really just to hold that down, anchor it in place for a bit. Now what I was doing before was using the mini glue dots and attaching this, take your pick and take them out and place them onto the glue dots. So today I'm just showing you a different way. If you've only got one today, it's just as quick just to pick up your Tombow and the putty end of your take your pick tool there and just take one of these out of the pot. Just make sure it is actually the right way up. We want to pick it up from the front, and we're just going to place that in the centre like so. So this is cloud cover I'm using, and then because it's out, I'm using the other end of the take your pick tool just to hold that in the centre. Or again, you grab your Tombow and just press that in. Okay, but that was just to give you a flavour of the papers. Of course, we want some gems on there. We could take the in colour gems here. I'm using these a lot. They're really, really handy. So I'm going to place one of these, the darker ones, inside that little flower there, just to give him a gem in the middle. Press him down, and I can bring him up to the camera. So there's one of the sketches, just had a circle and a banner. That was all on it. Okay, so that's one there. I'll pop that to one side. Come back to that in a minute. So put the lid on there and get rid of those. So what else have we got? The theme was the thinking of you. So I've got another one there with that sentiment on. So I picked out a different paper, didn't I? Was this one. So this, we grab another. Oh dear, Sandra, where did you put them? The note cards have vanished again. There. Yep. And you're going to bend that into fold it into the ridge. So come up to that corner and that corner, and then crease that along there. My grid paper's getting a bit mucky today. Okay, so that's there. So if you think we're going to have this piece on here, we could just cut that. This is 3.5 centimetres. If we did this at 3, it's going to be halfway through the middle there. Okay, we would get 2 designs out of that. So I think I'm going to chop that at 3. Excuse me, I'm going to sip of water. Been out today, and I did take my water with me, but there's still some left in there, so just enough to tide me over. So I'm going to cut that on the 3-inch line. Then we have 2 panels. Okay, so we can make 2 cards from that. We can, depending on how much sky we want and how much sea we want, we can have the little boats in there, and we've got another one here to have on a second card. So let's do 2 identical ones. I have got some more to show you at the end. Another couple there. So again, just find that point there and that end there, hold them firmly and score that one. Now we definitely need another colour behind here. I've got all of those colours that were included in those papers on the back. I set them aside out of the way. Here. So these were the papers I went through. So these are all those colours here. So are those the colours I've got of the cardstock? So I'm just going to look to see what would probably go nicely with that. We've got the Secret Sea is a lovely colour. That one's nice. That's too dark on there for that pattern. So I'm going to go with, let's just see how this one's going to look. The Pecan Pie might be a candidate. And just show how I work with these. That's a bit too gingery, isn't it? It's not quite the right, even on the bottom there, it's not quite the right colour. So let's go with early espresso. That as well. Got crumb cake. That would look nice on crumb cake, but it would also look nice on the espresso. Maybe we do one of each. Maybe one of each. There we go. So we have a panel like so. Let me use this in because the corner's bashed. See, we could actually, with this one, we could cover the whole thing. I've cut this one. I need the whole punch, the big one. So I'm going to take this end off because the corner's a bit bashed. So get a nice square corner. And I'm going to go the whole 5 inches, and then bring the edge down at 3.5, slightly wide. There we go, just take that little slither off. just going to get the nail brush here, the nail sander here, because that blade is getting a little bit, needs changing, I think. So just take that over. So this is the whole panel, just to see how it looks with no white. And then we have a piece of espresso. Which one should I do first? This one. Just to bring that in slightly. I think that might accent it nicely. I'm going to take a little bit, take this one down a little bit. So the sizes I gave you over here were different measurements that you can use to get those into whatever you want. Now I'm going to take a little piece off the bottom here, so I haven't got quite so much sand. Okay, and then I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to see at this smallest one first, 4 5/8. Let's see if that's what we want to have. There we go. I'll do the other one slightly different. I'll bring that one round there. Now I've shown you how to do the estimating on here, the little pencil mark. Looking for a pencil. No pencil on the table. Okay. This is a white gel pen. So I'm going to just make a little mark on here. So I'm going to put a little mark there and then a little mark here, and I will turn it over. So I'll put a little mark on there so I don't use that side. Trim these off on that line. And on this line, the little dot there, the white dot, and then we'll turn that over. So turn that one down so it's stuck down, and then put that one on the top there. Just making it a little bit more masculine. Okay, so those colours coming through. I need to take that down just a tiny little bit, I think. Yeah. A little bit off there, and a tiniest bit off there. There we go, just that little tiny hint around the edges. I like that. I think that works, doesn't it? And let's get that one down. We could gut that, but I've done some gutting for tonight already, so I'm going to leave that. Sometimes we don't, just to remind us, we don't need to have the white layout showing. So we're using the note card for the note card size, like so. It's all nice and flush, and these two can come together. Just that little tiny edge around there. This is all just inspired by the sketches that are in the catalogue. And quite often you'll find they don't actually end up looking anything like the sketches, because you're just taking that basic, the shapes out of there, and then using that as a guide to get you started. Good ones to go to when you're having a bit of a memory block. Okay, so that one there. Now the thinking of you can be on a piece of that beige again. And did I have early espresso ink here? Holding my breath as I stamp. There we go. Just that little bit. Okay, so the trimmer again. Just coming in the other side of that. Just try and find a line that you can run flush with. Keeping that straight. Even that up by the side. Okay, and then that can sit on there like so. Now if you want to, you can just pop another little banner behind it. Okay, coming inclined to think that that could actually have a little banner. So you could just flag one end, and I'm going to have that sticking out from the side. Onto there. So, and then this isn't very straight. We want that to come onto there. And it's just going to come in from the edge like so. We'll flag that side as well. And just make it a little bit bigger than this. But we do want it to be straight for the top there. Quite a wedge there, wasn't it? So I'm just going to pop that on there, just the size we need to have it. There we go. Oh, battery's going to go. There we go. That's all we need, isn't it? So I'll just quickly finish these off. So tweezer's just going to stick that one on. I'll leave it at this one. Show you the other two quickly, and hopefully the battery will hold out. That's going to go on there, an even gap all the way around the outside edges. Trim this in here, snip it into the centre. That one and that one. I think we must have gone a little bit longer tonight. I know I started a bit late. So this one's just going to come in from the end there. The thinking of you. Yeah, I think that balances it nicely there. Some foam pads again. And pop those either end. It's more of a beachy scene, and I'm going to bring it from the edge of the card rather than the edge of the layout, because it just breaks up that line. So that's those ones. That one will be a very similar card that we can do another day, but I'm going to show you. We've done the one that we did there, and then I've got a couple more I did earlier, just to show you how they can turn out. So this was another piece of paper. And I've done the same with this one. And if I just lay those out on the table there, like so you can have the four coming along. We use one of the flowers we've used, just for you, thinking of you, and a hello. They all kind of hit that theme, the thinking of you. So I'm just going to bring it back to the catalogue. So this was one of the ones I was working on, and then this one with some other shapes on it. So we had on this one, we had the shape in the centre. And then we have some other little embellishments from it. This one we had the circle, the banner. We just use them in a different configuration. Okay, so that's how the sketches can really help you. Just get you started, and then just change the layouts. And as I said before, then just to have some idea of some base cards like this even, but then use the just add the greeting on. So make them up ready and just have some that you can just supply. You can just add a sentiment when you need them. Okay, so they came out really well, and that is the beautiful gallery. The other thing I've done before is by cutting one of the fronts off the card and then using this panel to move it over and put a centerpiece on. I will do some of those another time and then share those as well. Okay, so they're just some different ways, different papers for you to see, get inspired by, and just different layouts. It'd been really nice to have just a photo of all your samples like this you've done. I can put some in the group underneath in the chat, and then you can post some more in there as well, just to help some ideas that you can just save the ones you like, and then you can just have it run a little batch of those out. So I'm going to bring me up on there. The camera is drooping down beyond silly now, so just get that up out of the way, and I'm going to bring you back to me. It's just a crazy day for technology. So thanks for joining me. Sorry I was a little bit late starting. Like I say, it was the techie stuff from the previous group that I was in. Just to remind you that those of you who are customers who have placed an order and took part in the Global Inspiration Stamp team with the demonstrations we did, the crib sheet with the measurements on should be available, and I will be able to get that out to you tomorrow. So that was going to be released by the 18th. So hopefully I can do that for you and get those out, and you can be making some of those projects as well. So I'll say cheerio for now, and I will